Have you ever wondered why music and love seem to go hand in hand? Why so many songs are written about it? Just what is it about music and love that makes them such a vital part of our lives?
Darling, I crave you, I can't get enough of you.
I'm happiest when I'm just doing stuff with you.
No other one could ever make me feel as I feel. When I'm with you, I must be the luckiest guy.
You make it better when it couldn't get any worse. But from time to time, our fate seems more like a curse.
So I have to find people to ask about love. Oh God, who wants to talk about that?
Love has changed your life
Yes, it did.
completely. Do you feel like a different person now that you're in love?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
Yeah, before she was in love, she was just wild.
yeah.
Yeah,
he
that's the
changed
word.
my life, that's true.
If I were to ask you, what is love? What would you say?
Expensive, complicated. The lawyers make lots of money out of it. Pre-nuptial clauses are there to be broken.
What is music?
Blues, jazz, all that racket.
Less expensive than love?
I don't know about that.
Well, don't
It
you
can be
think-
noisy,
Yeah,
but so can love. Especially in the law court.
very noisy. But music, do you think that music is inspired by love?
Always has been.
So I'm here in Bruges and I'm trying to look for couples who are holding hands and who are really sweet looking, and I'm having a really hard time finding people who speak English or they're too shy.
Chef, un petit verre, on a ça.
Love. Non, shut the fuck up.
Chef, un petit verre, on a ça.
Diego, ta gueule.
Un petit
Ta gueule,
verre, on a ça.
Diego, ta gueule.
On a ça.
Désolé.
He loves
On
sound
a ça. Yeah!
Love is just sharing.
Cuidado.
Love is sharing.
How do you feel about music?
I love music.
Do you,
I know.
what do you say?
For me, music is the expression of everything you feel. It's like if you feel something, you can explain it with words, but you can't explain it with music.
Do you hear music differently now that you're in love?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody in love here?
Yes, him.
You? How do you feel about love?
Je sais pas dire. Qu'est-ce que je veux dire? It feels good.
What'd you say? It feels good?
It feels good, yeah.
Love feels good?
Yes.
Now what about music?
Music feels good too.
So it's the same?
No, it's not the same.
How's it different?
Love is more difficult to find, and music you can turn the radio on and you will find good music.
That's very true.
Yes.
That's brilliant. So how do you feel about love?
Love? I think love is something that we build in our memory, in our mind, and I want need to express it. And because there's different type of love, so it depends the type of love that you are trying to express.
Do you like music?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think music and love are similar?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
Why not?
It doesn't give me the same feeling.
So what is music?
Geen filmpje, gast.
So what does music make you feel?
Makes me feel happy.
And what does love make you feel?
Classic. Happy as well, but in a different way.
What does love mean to you?
Love mean share life together.
In the Bible, King Solomon said, the most painful part of thing in life is when your love is broken. It's more painful than death. So love is very, very important.
Actually, I think love and music are closely linked because when you're in a relationship, it's just like two persons are playing some musical instrument together to have a just have a good tune and make the music become beautiful. Yeah.
For your question?
What?
For your question.
How do you feel about love?
About love?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe in love?
No.
Did you get your heart broken?
All ladies think about just money now. If you are rich guys, she loves you, she likes you. But if you are poor, she hates you.
Aww.
All ladies like money.
Aww.
Just you. I think you think about love. You believe about love. Big kiss for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think I would. Why not?
I feel like music, like there's so much emotion.
I think it could. Like it like thrives off of every emotion, not just like love. Like it could come from like anger or like I don't know, like fear or anything. But I mean, like a special type of music is connected with love.
They try to tell us we're too young to really be in love.
I think that it's a unique thing to be able to be that vulnerable. And I think that those of us that are, and also, you know, make music and songwriters and are putting shows out there, I think that we do it because it's our way of surviving. And it's our way of contributing. And it's our way of leaving something behind.
When I was 17, I was in a car accident, and my youngest brother, who was 13 at the time, passed away. And this is actually the first song that I ever wrote that was any good. I wrote some in high school where you're like, principal's terrible, high school's like just a freaking cattle call, man. And this was the first real song I wrote.
I'll be waiting to meet you, and I'll be first one.
The reason why I write and create and do songs and whatever is because it gets out what I'm feeling. So, but it gets it out in a really honest way. You know what I mean? It's not mean. It's usually not hard or harsh, and I don't. You know, you get mad about something, you write something down, then you go back to it 2 weeks later and you're not mad anymore, you know what I mean? But you still got it out.
'Cause I can't bear to see you cry. I'm sorry.
I don't know, it's emotionally draining for sure, but the payback is just so incredible. You know, being able to like see someone you don't know, and people have said this, artists have said this throughout history, but like there is something magical about seeing someone that you don't know, and connecting with something you connected with at some stage, and you start to realize that we're not all that different, and we're all sort of tapping into the same giant pool just from different streams. That sounds very hippie-ish.
I think we all look for, no matter what your job is, I think we all look for some sense of community. And so whether you're singing a song about faith and somebody connects to that song and you relate, even if you've sort of moved past that particular struggle, there's still a kinship with the listener than when they come and tell you, especially if you're asking earlier, does it matter if they interpret it the way that you meant it? Sometimes it does.
Hope you hear me say I love you, and I'll see you again.
See, the thing is, when I set out to write something, I don't have any preconceived ideas. Like, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to accomplish anything. I'm just doing it. And so if it happens to be coming out of a place where I'm feeling angry or love or sadness or boxed in or whatever, that comes out musically. But it's not my intention to go and, I'm going to write a song about that guy.
I think right now I'm going through something with writing where it's like, I don't want to not write something because I'm afraid that someone will be like, oh, well, why'd you do that? Or that's stupid, or... You know, and that's the thing with guys. I mean, I think sometimes when you're just like someone so much, it's like you change your personality for them, and you should never do that. I think, you know, I had a really healthy relationship that ended recently, but it, like, ended really positively. But in having that relationship, I was always myself with him, and I had so much fun with him. I mean, he was my best friend. We had such a good time, and I never felt embarrassed. Like, you know, like, I'll do weird voices or say weird things, or I talk to my dog, or... You know, I'm just totally myself, and I never hid anything from him. I never felt like ashamed or embarrassed. I just was really confident in myself when I was around him. And I think that is the best thing ever, is being able to feel that way about yourself.
First of all, it helped, like I said, it's cathartic. It's like free therapy. You know, so every night when you get up on stage and you're talking about let's say you write a song and it's about this girl that broke your heart, whatever. That's a typical situation for an artist. You know, it helps, it almost numbs the pain.
Music is everything, you know. Everyone has music that gets them in the mood for something. So we all have our songs that make us feel really sexy. We all have our songs that get us pumped up and ready to go out. We have our songs that like make us want to take on the world. So when it comes to sexuality, you need music that puts you in the mood. And for everyone, that's something different.
Music enhances sexuality simply because the wording of a song, the beat of a song, the beats per minute. You know, if it's slow and sexy, I mean, people put on music as an aphrodisiac. You know, at the end of the day, there's chocolate and there's oysters, and you know, it puts people in the mood. Music puts people in the mood. So it enhances the sexual kind of feeling and desire.
There's certain songs that just make you feel like, oh yeah, you know. I'm wondering what, I think my stripper song was Shake Me All Night Long, but then what, more recently it's like, especially when you have some drinks, you have like a dance party with your friends, and, you know, just at your house, which I like to do. You know, there are songs that make you just feel like, I feel sexy when I dance to this song. Not that I look sexy when I'm doing it, like to you right now.
I'm
you
really
feel a little
excited
sassy.
right
I think lyrics make the song sexy in the respect where, you know, the artist is talking about sex, and when I perform that, I get to portray that physically and the way I think creatively to perform how that artist has written the song. I'm a big fan of songwriter artists, you know, that write their own stuff because it's pure emotion and it's raw material. So when they sing it a certain way, it has a certain meaning to them. But when it comes to my table, I listen to the song and I say, okay, I'm going to perform this, and this is how I'm going to portray this song. This is what I think the artist was talking about. And it does everything for everybody. The audience is entertained and creatively fixed. The artist's music is spread. So that's why I like to do a lot of artists that people don't know.
It's really hard to put the feeling of sexy into words. It's almost something that you do through movement, and I think that's where music is so important.
When people make music and they have their own you know, idea of what the song is about and how they want to portray that song, when it hits the listener's ears, it's something completely different. It's such a different animal, especially for drag queens and especially for, you know, cheerleaders or dance troops or whoever is embodying that music and bringing it to a stage. Even cover artists, you know, that do it acoustically or do it this way or do it that way, or remixers or DJs. Music sets the mood, and being able to make that music visual, that's what gets me together. I love that. I love making the music that Pink makes and making it visual. I like, you know, Roy Sheen Murphy, Kylie Minogue, any artist, David Bowie, because music has no gender. You know, you could, as drag queens, we're supposed to do girl songs or this and that, but you break out of that mold and do whatever it is that makes your heart happy.
When I think of sexy songs, I think of songs that don't beat around the bush. You know, that get right to the point.
The magicians in your eyes make the world disappear from mine. They make the weight of life a vacation for a while. And while the music in your kiss begins to sing a minor fifth, our fingertips conduct a symphony in style. And by the second movement in, houses are whipping in our wind, branches are snapping in our spin, and skin is twisting against skin. And I am flying, so it seems. Foundations bursting at the seams. The sky is manic with our song. I am frantic, we are strong. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a love song, a very passionate song. I've never written any other songs like that.
It's a good love song. Yeah.
Me in the vineyard.
You're with a girl. You're sitting there, you're feeling the vibes. You put on a record. That's just right, perfect. I mean, that's just
it's amazing.
It's amazing what it does. It's like, I don't think we did it enough, to be honest. I mean, I don't think I did enough, at least, but I think, you know, and kids falling in love to it. I think it's got lots. I remember my moments being with girls, and as a kid or something, and I'm convinced that if that certain song was not playing in that just moment in the car or something, I wouldn't feel the same way about it.
Making love on the hill where the windmills stand still. Darling, meet me in the vineyard tonight.
And don't you worry, I'll take the lead. And if I lose my way, I know you'll guide me.
There's so much sex that happens that isn't, you know, if you want to differentiate between sort of just sex and like making love, if you will. There's a lot of sex that happens that is just for the moment. And I think having music going on during those moments is maybe a way of dulling the intimacy of it. So it's like I'm in a movie, or this is just a distraction almost. And I'm not fully present here.
For me, it enhances sexuality like a great deal. You know, like I can be sexually attracted to I can see a woman and be like, you know what, I'm not really sexually attracted to her. Just, I don't know her at all, you know, just physicality. And then she can start playing music. And if I'm into the music, all of a sudden it's like I'm incredibly sexually attracted to her.
In the vineyard, oh, meet me in the vineyard tonight.
Let's get it on, man.
Let's get it on.
That shit, you could be watching a football game and Let's Get It On will come on. You want to bone something. Doesn't matter what it is. Certain songs just get you in the mood. That's what they're written for. The people that write those songs tell you it's baby making music. That's exactly what it's written for. It's a love song.
I have dancer friends who we've discussed why we dance together, right? And one of them, she's really auditory. And so when she hears music, it sounds so good to her that she has to dance. The other one, she's super visual. So when she sees dancers, she wants to look like that and join in the lines and the beauty of it visually. And so her relationship to the music is low, but we still dance. Me, I'm a feeling person because the music feels like a tangible feeling in me. And when I dance, I'm expressing what that music feels like.
Because your mood chooses your music, and your music chooses the mood of the audience.
The best thing you could be to a woman is honest, period. I think honesty is sexy, man. I mean, it's hard in music because, and especially nowadays, you have the image, and the image is as important as the fucking music, maybe even more, you know?
I said that whiskey, wine, and women love me, baby, through the night. Early morning coming, I know a pretty lady, your ass ain't gonna treat me right. But I'm tired, broke and busted. I'm tired, broke and busted, baby. Yes, I'm tired, broke and busted. You made me leave my happy home.
As long as a motherfucker is honest and pure in his intentions to fucking create passion, I think people get it.
Embodiment of alabaster.
They feel it, and the writer feels it, and the singer feels it. I think we feel it.
If I've danced to a song that I think is really sexy, it makes it even sexier. And every time I hear it, I go back into that feeling. It's almost like I got to explore another avenue of art. Like someone gives the music, I can put a routine to it or a performance to it, and then it just kind of makes it this living thing.
Oh my Lord, she a fucked up disaster. But I know that you done some good, yes you did.
if you're sitting in an audience and the person you're watching performing has passion, you cannot take your eyes off them.
Music can be so incredibly emotional. I mean, what music's able to do on all of its levels is, you know, it's beautiful that we can't explain it. We can't explain it because it does it, and if we can explain it, we wouldn't need it.
I've talked to my band about this. We have certain moments together when we're playing. Even it doesn't have to be a show. It can be in rehearsal or just, you know, if we're just playing at the hotel or something like that. You know, just for fun. Where there's these sort of gestalt moments where, for whatever reason, there's just something very special that's released. And there's just these little moments, and you end up becoming very addicted to them, and you try to chase them in the same way that you would, like, you know, from a narcotic high or something.
I would say yes, there's probably some sort of neurochemical release because you do feel so enchanted, so to speak, just like you were going to feel if your boyfriend or girlfriend were going to come over. That same feeling is there, so I imagine the same neurological processes are going on.
People that do have any kind of mood disorder, or people that have had addiction to drugs, you've experienced the best and you have experienced the worst, the downfall. So what can you find that brings you somewhere close to that without doing those things, or without being, you know, super depressed? Where's that middle of the road? And if it can be a song, then I mean, that's your brain's, give it to me, like, I'm gonna surge you with dopamine, it's giving me some pleasure. And if that's what does it, then you'll go after that as much as possible.
In terms of cognitive processes and physiological processes, some of the same things are happening. So there was a study that showed, we had a bunch of people listen to different excerpts of music. One of the excerpts was a sad song, one of the excerpts was happy, and then the other one was fear. And they measured people's responses physiologically over these excerpts, and they had similar responses. So for example, the people that listened to the happy excerpt had increases in their heart rate, their respiratory systems. And people that listened to the fearful song had changes in heart rate, blood pressure, and skin conductance. And the people that listened to the sad song had changes in the rate of amplitude and blood flow. So all of these people are having same physiological responses just by listening to a 3-minute excerpt of music.
It's been absolutely proven to help make you feel better. So it's a studied thing, you know, not just this is the structure of it, this is the function, this is the chemical reaction. It's been proven through absolutely many, many doctors and psychologists and patients that feel better because of their music therapy.
Being severely deaf, how do you experience a song?
Can be through vibration and beat are the two main things how I listen and enjoy music. If here's one example, my 16th birthday party, my dad we had wood floors and took all the furniture except for the couch, put it against the wall. Most of my friends back then were deaf, so he had these giant speakers. They were tall, so he put it sideways on the wood floor, and then you would feel it, but I could also hear the beat, so it's almost like I can hear the music better with the vibration and the beat together. Probably why I have the music on really loud in my car, because the speakers on the door by the leg, so I can feel the way the music is going. There's a lot of music from when I was a teenager and a lot of music now, there's a lot of similar sound to it, so I think that's why it's hard for me to be very emotional about music. If you ask, because I've talked to my husband about it, and he loves music, but he also can hear really well, and he can identify with all these music, but he also can identify it because he knows what they're singing about. I don't know what they're singing about half the time. I don't even hear what they're saying. So I think that makes it harder for me to be emotional because I can't say, oh, they're talking about me right here. I'd be like, I got a really good beat. Yeah, let's go. That's how I normally am.
Right. But maybe you could, like we were saying earlier, you could put yourself into it. Maybe just like if there's like a beat that you really just get into, can you get lost in it that way? I mean,
yeah. When I used to go clubbing and stuff, I would dance, and all of a sudden it'd be like 2 hours later, I'd be like, wow, totally got into the whole.
Yeah. So it's not the words that move you; it's the music itself.
Yeah.
I've heard songs that have made me tear up. It made the hair on my arms stand up, the hair on the back of my neck. Same thing as when you meet that other person, you feel that love or lust, whatever you feel. Music does the same thing. It's frequency, it's vibration, it's feeling.
The brain's complicated when we don't know much about it, but the general pathways they make a lot of sense. So antidepressant drugs, there's 3 different kinds. Ones that increase serotonin, norepinephrine, and then dopamine. There's a lot of side effects of those medicines that increase dopamine. So, increased heart rate, anxiety. Too much of it can cause you to be psychotic. It's a good chemical in adequate doses.
I know that definitely for me, since I was a very young age, music has had that effect on me. And some of my earliest memories are of like hearing music and being totally emotionally overwhelmed by it. And I think that, when you're a teenager, all those hormones and all those things are like really on the surface all the time. And so I think that's why music is especially intense when you're in your teens.
It brings down walls. Both do. When I mean good, that's subjective. If it touches you, like that's what's good, then it's a good song.
Yeah, I definitely think that a certain kind of melody can hit you in a way that it does release like a wave of, as you say, endorphins for sure. I think even sometimes when I'm writing, if I stumble upon something really exciting, it's like my whole mood just shifts. Like one melody, one line totally transforms my whole feeling and outlook about life in that moment.
Very, very rarely do I get taken surprise, like does music take me by surprise at the emotion that it elicits from me. Usually it just adds on to what I've already gotten there, but I don't know, it can happen probably, there have been times that I've been taken by surprise.
Some of the best moments of my life are when I'm by myself on a piano and I'm singing a song. And it's not because I'm like, oh, damn, you sound really good when you sing, or shit, you have a talent. It's like I am singing a song and it's moved me to tears. It's funny and it's ironic, but anybody who doesn't admit this shit probably just doesn't feel that much, truthfully.
I think if you put those things on somebody's head while they're singing a song or taking a guitar solo, you would probably get some pretty amazing results with the amount of chemical reactions going on in your neuro pathways. I mean, I feel it like when I'm playing something and I'm really into it. It's, you know, it's really similar to being in love. You know, you're just like in love with everything, and you're not even in your regular self anymore.
The way music works and the way things work is there, once you've expressed your truth and made your song and shared it, that's it, it's out there.
Singing it night after night, it's strange too, that's another strange experience. Is singing a song that was written out of loss and heartache, and singing it night after night after night on tour, and the song starts to unfold its real identity.
I don't think that there is such a thing as like misconstruing the song or the meaning behind it. I think that it's supposed to mean something for everybody, something unique to everybody.
When you play music, you got to either make people dance or you got to make them feel. It's amazing when you can do both. Not many people can do that. When I picked up the guitar and wrote my first song, it was very emotional, and I felt like I could express myself much more honestly doing this. So it was such a rush when that happened for me.
I wrote a song like a month ago. It's kind of like a soul, old like Wilson Pickett. Just a real straight soul song called A Good-Hearted Man. Just recently breaking up with somebody, and that's how I kind of get through shit.
I think the great thing about instrumental music in particular is that it can emote the things that we cannot say to each other through our voices, and that's part of the beauty of the abstract nature of instrumental music, is being able to convey those things through the feeling of a note, because there's no words attached to it. It's just a melody, you know.
I tend to invest the most amount of time in the composition. So, as that applies then to emotion and music, I think that the first thing has to be you. You have to be coming from the right place. And I think that people have pretty good bullshit detectors. I don't think you need a degree in music to be able to sense authenticity. In fact, I think authenticity is one of the things that people, regardless of language, age, intelligence, or anything like that, I mean, you can see little kids who kind of call bullshit on adults all the time.
Everybody as a writer has their own path, but for me, it became a lot, more about the feelings that hurt me and the feelings that made me think, and the shit that I didn't say to anybody, the shit that was inside.
I like to play a lot with the tension between, is this happy or is this sad? So I kind of like to be in this nebulous area that we don't have words for. Like, we tend to break things up very much into dichotomies. Okay, this is black, this is white, this is major, this is minor, this is happy, this is sad. And I feel like the real human emotion is much more complicated than that.
That's the beautiful thing about instrumental music, and that's what I happen to love about it, is you can listen to the same piece of music, something you're totally familiar with, on a different day, and you can extract a different level of meaning from it. You know, you might listen to, like, say, Beethoven's Eroica Symphony, and one day you're totally tapped into this heroic quality of it, and the other day you might hear a lot more of the tragedy in it. And that is why I relate to so much instrumental music, is I love the flexibility it gives me as somebody perceiving it. I love that every day I might be able to get a different meaning from it. I love the layers of meaning.
I think the reason why composers love music is because you're kind of jumping the literal aspect and creating emotion through combinations of intervals, movement, and sound, and you're kind of you're jumping it. In other words, you're not saying a specific thing that will cause an emotion. You're actually making the emotion.
Ambient sounds are big on. They're a big emotional. They pull on your emotional heartstrings.
Yes, and I think it's because they become non-specific, but yet there's a bed of emotion in it. There's something intrinsically or structurally that makes a person feel a certain way. I think it has to do with the cultural part of it. In other words, historically, what do these sounds mean? Minor does not necessarily mean sadness, depending on the context, even though it has been related to that certainly in the last 100, 200 years. I mean, this has neither a major or minor sound, it's a perfect fifth. It can be so that's not necessarily, that gives you a major feeling, even though there's no third in the chord. This gives you a minor feeling.
So what would you say is the narrative of this song?
Well, I think that in relationship to the music, I mean, in the music's relation to the narrative is that it represents a simmering in the beginning and then a turbulence at the end.
The mind really sees the song, everybody like interprets it their own way. You know, the lyrics are there, they're up for interpretation and an experience, whether it be love, hate, whatever, you know. It's all up to interpretation.
I will never tell a soul what Tremble's about. I'll get laughed from here to Ralph's. No, it's very juvenile. What inspired me to write that song, but it turned out to be one of my best love songs ever.
I'm usually resistant when people ask me what songs mean, because I think when they ask me, they're looking for either some sort of a confirmation that they're on the right track with it, or they're trying to disprove something.
Dresden Doll's first record was most of that material was written after a really terrible breakup. And it's a great way of working through anger and resentment and upset and sadness. And I don't need to work through happiness. I'm just very happy to have it. So I'm never inspired to write a song about how much I love my husband. I'm just not. I'm just happy to have him.
Okay, it was demanded of me so many times in Australia that I played this on the ukulele that I kind of figured it out. Not completely. So there's chords where you'll see me going like. I don't know who it is. Okay, I need 2 volunteers. Just come over here. I just need you to hold my leg. No, the 2 of you, like a stable, like you're a collective stump. Yes, no false moves or we go down together.
But you go down together.
It means you can't clap though. Everyone, you have to clap. This will work. You tuned? Yeah, more or less. All right. Wait, hold on. Clap in a certain special way. Not too loud. Good.
When I go shit. I got to the party, they gave me a 40, and I must have been thirsty, cause I drank it so quickly. When I got to the bedroom, there was somebody waiting, and it isn't my fault that the barbarian raped me. But I went to get tested, I brought along my best friend, Melissa Mahoney, who had once been molested, and she knew how to get there. She knew all the nurses, they were all really friendly. The test came up positive, I've seen better days, but I don't care, close I fucked up Oasis and a letter in the mail. When I got my abortion, I bottled with my boyfriend. We got there an hour before the appointment, and outside the building were all these annoying fundamentalist Christians who tried to ignore them. I've seen better days, but I don't care. Oh shit, I fucked it up. I've got to get that right. I've seen better days, but I don't. No, that's wrong. Wait. It's gonna drive me crazy. Yeah, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've seen better days, but I don't care. Oasis got my letter in the mail. Now everybody sing something.
Something's gonna happen when there's people gathering in one place for one purpose and for one love. Then there's something magical is gonna happen, and that's what happens at every concert. If you think about it.
When I travel around on tour and meet people and talk to them after the shows, and they tell me their stories, and they say this song helped me through this breakup or a loss of this friend or loved one, then I realize that the heartbreak I went to is totally worth it.
Seeing those people come to the show and you see them again and again, and you know they met through what you did, and their lives are now enriched because of each other.
Yeah, in South Africa, because it's been through quite a terrible kind of recent history. Music was like the one thing that kept everyone together. Even now, when you go on the trains from like the suburbs or whatever to the town or the city, you'll get on those trains and there'll be like 100 Africans singing together, and it's such an amazing experience.
One of these days, letters are gonna fall from the sky, telling us all.
Do you want to introduce yourself for the camera?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Zoe.
And how old are you?
5.5.
5.5, wow. You're getting old.
Yeah.
Now, I heard that you love music.
Yeah.
Why do you love music?
Because music is better.
It's better?
Yeah.
Yeah? So tell me a little bit about this amazing young lady that you have here. What's her story?
What's her story?
Well, her story is, just to give you an idea of the way she is, she was diagnosed recently of being a high-functioning autistic. On top of that, with a little bit of ADD, which she's kind of exhibiting here. But outside of that, along the lines of music and so forth, she's always been a very musically inclined child.
Music seems to focus her, center her energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Her teacher, actually, in kindergarten, he had a piano in his classroom, so he played the piano a lot with the kids. And that was, he could not have asked for a better teacher altogether for her because of that.
Are you going to be a musician when you grow up?
Yeah.
Yeah? What else are you going to be?
I'm gonna be a rock star.
How has music been instrumental or helpful in raising a child with autism? How has it helped?
Well, pretty much. I mean, I don't know if it's helped as much as, because we just recently got her diagnosed. So it's really pretty much it's always been part of us. So if we can have her focus on one thing, if it be in music or, you know, her singing or just performing or whatever, then we'll go for it. But we know that we can always go back to that with her, and she'll get back into happy Zoe, to the brightness again.
Right.
So.
Wow, that's actually quite profound. I mean, so music literally is her happy place.
It pretty much is.
Say,
You and Jason have been friends for a while now. Tell me a little bit about how he got started.
Jason started playing guitar on his own at age 5 and started learning things like Bob Dylan and then Eric Clapton and then Eddie Van Halen and Yngwie Malmsteen. And by the time he was 15 years old, he was playing Paganini Caprices like perfectly on the electric guitar, freaking everybody else out. And he played with Marty Friedman in a band called Cacophony. That was his dueling guitars shred band. And then got picked up for sort of the most coveted gig at the time with David Lee Roth, replacing Steve Vai. So this legacy of guitar amazingness. David Lee Roth first playing with Eddie Van Halen, and then Steve Vai, and then Jason Becker got the gig playing for him. And when they started, I guess, recording, was when Jason noticed that he was limping. Something was going on with his leg. And then at about, I guess, 19 or 20, he was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, which is a paralyzing disease, and he was given 3 to 5 years to live. And he decided to keep living and keep creating music. So that was 23 years ago or so. And he's still 24 years ago. So he's still creating music and kicking tons of ass. Jason's father, Gary Becker, developed this language system based on eye movements when Jason's voice was getting weak so that they could still communicate. And it's, as Gary puts it, like an eye geometry. So there are 6 squares with each letter of the alphabet in these 6 squares, this last one having 6 letters instead of 4. And each letter is 2 eye movements. So the first eye movement, like if everything starts from the center, the first eye movement tells you which square, and then the second eye movement takes you to the letter within the square.
It's just so incredible what you are able to do. You know, I mean, the love that you have is astounding and so admirable, and it's so beautiful that you created the system for him to still speak and compose. I mean, if that's not love, I don't know what is.
Well, I didn't feel like I had a choice. I mean, it's my child, and I can't be happy if he's not happy, so, you know, I just stayed to take care of him, and I needed to be able to talk to him, and it wasn't happening, so, I don't know where it came from. I just got lucky. I just said, I need a system, and I thought it up in 10 minutes. So, he didn't like it at first, though.
What would you like to say to your dad about everything that he's done and everything that he's given you?
Fuck you.
That's another thing I like about him.
N-O, no. I-T-H, think. I-T, it is. O-B, obvious. I-W-O, would, int. B-S-H-I, shit. Without him. H-I, his. L-O, love.
When you first fell in love with someone, do you have music that enhanced that experience? Or do you think that music, do you have songs associated with that person now?
Yeah, absolutely. A song you heard when you first met that person, the first night you hung out together.
That's why every couple has that song, you know. Every couple's got their song. It's like
whatever's playing in the background at the bar the first day and got drunk and went home together or whatever it may be.
Right.
So everybody connects that with the song.
Right. So what if you were to break up with that person or have a falling out? Could you still listen to that song?
Absolutely. Yeah, you listen to that song, use it for fuel, and then you find another song to help you with that feeling. Music is therapeutic. It's medicine.
My first love, when I think of him, it's The Cure. It's just 100% The Cure. I don't know if that's because I was experiencing love for the first time and he introduced me to that band.
Again, I don't know that I have the exact answer because there's so many different variables that come into play. But again, when you're experiencing something that's deeply emotional for you, you're going to process that at a deeper level and hold it in long-term memory. So if there's music associated with that, they're going to be sort of glued together. They're going to be combined in your memory as this goes with this.
Some songs by The Cure.
Disintegration is one of the best albums ever fucking written. I can't listen to it.
That came out when I was in 8th or 9th grade, and it was I already loved The Cure, and that album was just like perfection on a record.
I was gonna get married to Plain Song. That was my
Yeah,
plan.
Plain Song is the song.
Right?
So Disintegration was a pretty important record to me when I was in my early 20s. And I had my first serious relationship. And I almost moved to Texas with this guy. And instead, I moved to LA and did music. And Disintegration was our record. But funny enough, years later, I got married to Plain Song with another guy. So maybe that makes me a bit of a musical slut. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that loyal when it comes to records.
I opened up for Ray LaMontagne a couple years ago, and he has this song, I don't know what it's called. I always feel this way, so empty. I think it's called Empty. And that song is like, it's like a guilty pleasure because it's a beautiful song, and he's an amazing artist, but it just, there's something about it. It's called Empty. Something about it just feels so sad.
Once in a while, a song will come on that, will strike a kind of, sad chord with me. I think more not with, like, lost love as in, like, romance. I think some songs will remind me of, people passing and, like, losing people that were, like, that kind of love, like family or friends.
I have a really embarrassing one.
Please share.
My embarrassing one is Hold Me Now by the Thompson Twins. That was one of my first, like, 6th grade breakup songs.
No, actually. I mean, if a piece of music is really good enough that I had that experience, it's probably still good enough and I'll have a different sort of feeling with it.
Music is very strongly tied to memories, and especially if there's a specific memory that evokes a lot of emotion, like a breakup or a really happy time, your brain is already going to encode that memory more deeply because it has a lot of emotion behind it. So if there's a song that's coupled with that, not only do you have visual processing, so what you see during that event, but you have auditory processing, so what you hear. The sounds and the sights are deeply tied. So you're using more of your senses to ground yourself in that scene.
I'm a month and a half removed from my last relationship. And I had recorded, produced 3 of her I produced a single, then I produced an EP, then I produced this full-length record, right? And on the EP, we did a cover of the Randy Newman song, Rollin', right? Now, I'm good with the breakup. I think I'm good with where we're at and whatnot. But the other day, I was listening to, I don't know where it was, I put on the Good Old Boys, the Randy Newman Good Old Boys record on which Rollin' is on, and I couldn't listen to it.
I don't really listen to sad music anymore at all because I have decided for myself that I feel that it's a bit self-indulgent.
I definitely know what you're talking about, and I have certain places I might not go to because they remind me of someone I don't want to be reminded of. But music, I don't know. if it's art. I don't know if it's a movie that it was like our movie or that we used to watch all the time. Or, you know what I mean? I would never let someone or those memories take ownership of that art.
Sad music in general. Sometimes it just makes me feel too much. I don't want to feel. Maybe it's my problem. Maybe I'll come back around and it'll all be fine. I think I'm in a pretty staunch place right now in my life where I'm totally cool where I'm at. I don't want to like upset the apple cart, and I kind of just think if I don't really listen to much sad music, that's probably better for me, because there's a lot of emotions in myself. I have a total dark side that I don't really want to access.
I wrote this song a long time ago. This is my old band. And we were in the studio recording, and my manager came and he said, "Sal, do me a favor, play me that new song, or play her this new song. I want to hear it," right? And I remember saying to him, man, it ain't nothing but a dumb love song. And I remember him saying this to me, "Yeah, dumb love song, because those things never actually fucking sell." And it was a joke. He was being sardonic and sarcastic. But he's right. It's the only shit that really fucking matters.
I know you're out there, walk the streets and I feel you everywhere. I know you're nearby, and the wonder that I'm missing makes me wonder.
Well, it depends on how you take love. Love is a human emotion, and so is music. So music is love, either way you look at it, you know what I mean? So we love what we're doing. But as far as loving someone else, we're a heavy metal band, we're a rock and roll band, you know, we write about breakups, bad relationships, stuff like that, but it's still, love is still the core.
When you don't have like romantic love, I have a lot of platonic love and familial love, but when you don't have it and you want it, it tends to be what you write about, I guess, for me.
It's a huge emotion. If not the only emotion that really fucking matters, man.
My luck is down and I'm feeling blue. I tried everything except to stand here on the corner so you hear me say, hey, 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 baby. I think that maybe you should come out to play. Let me be shelter for you.
There are no songs where I would stop performing them because of an ex-boyfriend. There are certain songs from ex-boyfriends that I still perform to this day, but they have great meaning, you know. You can't erase your past. And if that song identifies that person, embrace it and you know, look at the good in the memory. You know, he may be a bastard, but he was your bastard at one time, and you know, you can't erase that.
Hey, hey, baby, I think that maybe you should come out to play. Let me be shelter for you on your rainy days. Hey, hey, baby, I think that maybe you should come out to play. Let me be shelter for you on your rainy days.
I went through a phase of dating lead singers only because I was convinced that they would understand me. Really? And that wound up not being true. There are as many types of lead singers as there are people. Guitarists have a passive-aggressive problem, and then bassists and drummers, who traditionally in life, and I've actually found this is totally true, bassists and drummers in life actually are used to and drawn to playing a support role. It's just, you'll find it's true across the board. And guitarists are usually more narcissistic. Well, and you know what? And then you try to be lesbian, and that doesn't work out either. So, and then you try to go celibate, and that doesn't work out.
That doesn't work out either.
Yeah, so actually you just have to cope with problems.
What?
I know.
No.
Sorry.
We are social creatures, so we certainly need to be in groups, and love is a part of that. We need to be cared for and nurtured, because if we're not, then we're not likely to survive. So in that respect, yes, love is absolutely essential, and we need it, and we follow it and try and be as close to it as we can.
Love is where it all starts, that's for sure. But it changes. It changes as you change. And there's so many different kinds of love. Romantic love is kind of what started me. Actually, no, that's not true. Lost friendship love is what started my thing when my friend died. But then it quickly grew into my budding womanhood and hormonal raging self at 21 years old. Like every cute thing that walked, just like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, you know, not knowing what love is. But I wrote all about it, and I'm extremely emotional and very dramatic, and like you can't tell. And that kind of was the catalyst for me to have all these songs, you know. Melissa's passing started it, and then that just kind of opened the gate, and I had this avenue to write about every heartbreak, every secret crush, every giddy moment, every magical moment, every longing, desire. I could put it down, and a lot of it nobody ever heard, but I could put it down.
So when you write songs, do you think you're inspired by different kinds of love, and do they sound different?
I often feel like I'm inspired by this feeling of sort of love for life, and so I don't know what kind of love that is. It's like a love of
maybe unconditional.
Maybe it's sort of a love of like experience and feeling, and it's like just a sensational sort of love. Like I just love the feeling of the air on my face, you know, and it's a really like ecstatic kind of feeling of like, oh, I could just drink the air, you know, that kind of love. And then there's that fun, and then also this feeling of love of like occasionally it's like this, I don't know, like a love of humanity or something like that. It's sort of, I often feel like, again, talking about dark and light, I feel like I'm straddling this thing where I'm like, I love people and I love just humans, you know, and then at the same time I'm horrified by the things that they do, you know? So that's another example of like, it's a beautiful day, but the day will end. So it's like, I feel like that sort of love. And then now that I'm a mother, there is this new kind of like motherly love.
I remember the first show that I played after she was born. Like 2 days after she was born, I went and played a show, and it was just like hearing music for the first time.
There's always fundamental aspects of love though that are the same. I mean, whether it's you know, what erotic love or the friendship love, or all those different kinds. I think it's there's certain elements of it that are always the same.
Music doesn't exist without love. No, absolutely not. Because if love doesn't exist, emotion's probably not, you know, there. I don't know. I mean, you take love out of the equation of being a human being. What are you left with? What do you got?
I think it probably would not exist without love. I think love is, it's in one way or another, it's probably a part of, I wouldn't put a number on it, but 87% of songs that are made. No, I mean, it's the backbone to most art that's created.
No, absolutely not. No, I don't even know, I can't imagine the music would exist without love, no.
That's not a simple question. So music would exist without love? No, of course not.
Would anything exist without love?
Would it?
I don't think so.
We should ask the philosopher.
I just open to life, and I have many philosophies, but what comes is to live and help live. and to see the beauty in everything and everyone. Chief's blood, Native American blood, that has a story to it, a real traceable story. So as a child, I grew up in Topanga Canyon, and we would play cowboys and Indians, and I was always the Indian. And that really gave me the strength to move forward into the studies of the Native Americans.
Music must have started with an entirely different purpose. I mean, what were some of the purposes of the very early music? How did music start?
Well, the universe started the music. Because if you listen to the universe, one of the people in our study group, when we were learning this path and how to do the medicine wheel and the sweat lodges, he was the mathematician that wrote the math to send the deep space probe out into space. Interestingly enough, I asked him about that. Tell me about that. Show me about the math. And he says, well, I'm working with magnetic fields. I said, okay, magnetic fields. And I see magnetic fields. Oh, you mean like the windings on a speaker cone, you know, to make the vibration of the cone to make sound and carry music out? He says, yeah. I said, so, okay, so the deep space probe was the math for that to sit, and it's still going, and it's still sending messages back. And it's in other universes, and it works with music. The vibrations of things are the music that hold us together.
Yes, music has a lot of purposes, and it's been very, very handy for love, but music originally, I mean, if you look at the grand history of music, it's had lots of uses.
In the prayer circle, in the village, in the circle of life, is all the music.
I lead the musical and the spiritual part of the synagogue through music. That's what I do. I work with choirs and children and adults and all types of music to bring prayer to a higher level. Music is used in all religions. One of the things that we don't think of Judaism as being on the forefront of meditation, but you think about the Buddhism and other spiritual practices that use chants. And there are many, many chants in the Jewish faith as well. Words that are repeated, sounds that are repeated and sung to a single note, or a very, not changing very much, in a kind of a chanting form.
Now, do you think that this beautiful choir you have would exist without love?
Well, I think love of singing is deep in the heart. So this choir, these people love to sing.
I think love is one of the major players in making music, but I think music covers so many emotions that love just happens to be one of the major ones.
No, but I don't think the world would exist without love, so. I mean, if there wasn't love in the very beginning, I think everyone would have just killed each other. I think we developed as a sort of a communal type animal. That's what separated us. We evolved.
Nothing would exist without love. Think about it. Nothing. Even if you believe in God or don't believe in God. If you don't believe in God, you're still drawn to love, right? Because you want people to love you and you want to be loved back. And if you believe in God, then you believe He created us to love Him and to love us.
And if you rewind thousands and thousands of years to village, tribe humans, music was used as a way to bring everybody together. It was a common thing that everybody did together. And I'm sure there was music, related to fertility rites or, and it was, music for sexy time, music for dancing, music for mating. But there was also music for lots of different purposes. And the core theme is that music was not meant to be listened to, made, and listened to alone.
I think love exists from music. Yeah. Music is first. Yeah. Music holds us together. Music is the vibration that carries the thoughts.
M-U, music. A-and-L-O, love. R-B-O, both. V-E, very. C-O-N-E, C, connected. A, and. A-S, as. R, as R. A-L, all. T-H-I, things. I, in, life.
Nothing would exist without love. For the record, I don't think we have any love songs, to be honest with you. I don't like love songs. I think they suck.
Why?
They're forced.
Yeah, very much
they're
so.
forced.
Unless you're in the moment. I mean, if you're in love, it's like a flower blossoming. You know what I mean? So of course you're gonna write that type of song at that type of moment, but you're just not that type of baby.
Nah, never will be.
Inside my mouth I can hear all the voices say, do not lean over the ledge. Should've looked down and I shouldn't have found that your lips are still tasting my head. Raising my glass to the head of the class as she powers out steps 1 through 10. I think I'll be fine.
I would say, I would add one to that. I would say music, love, and death. Sorry to add that to your film, but those are pretty universal things.
But it's true.
And I would say, again, like that thing of that it's like you experience love because we die. It's like you have to, it's so they go together. It's that feeling of fleetingness. Like love really is fleeting. And so it's really precious. And I think that's when you experience something that is like, oh my God, this incredible feeling, I love someone, it's fleeting. And I think that's the thing that I like to focus on in my music, is like knowing that this is the most incredible experience somebody could ever have, but it's not gonna last.
The name of the game is outrunning the blame, so I hate you and love you with friends. Guess we'll be friends.
We as people decided that romantic love and the idea of soulmates that was the way to go, and I think that's cool that happened.
You take me in your arms now, I can't. You take me, why can't you take me in your arms now, why can't you take me?
So what do you write about? What isn't forced for you?
Life experience. So I guess you could say love plays a part because, I mean, we love our families, we love our friends, and that's what brought us to this point, the support. So if someone loves our music, we love them, they love us, we're here, we're experiencing the same thing together. And that's what humans are supposed to do. It works, that's why we're doing it. We're human.
Take me in your arms now. I can't. It take me in your arms now. I can't. It take me.
Music was made for the group to share and play, and it wasn't about the ego of this one person who wrote a fantastic song. It was the music that had been handed down and handed down and handed down. And people who happen to be alive right now were the vessel for these songs that had been passed down, and they'd be passed on further to be used for what they were used for. And we've gotten very far away from that way of thinking, which kind of worries me sometimes. The music is so identified with the artist and so much about their ego. And people looking up at, and it's not as shared as it used to be, it's kind of depressing.
When I am in love with a girl and we're sitting in my living room, the fire, and it's like really romantic, and I play her a song that I'm like, this is how I feel, but I can't tell you, but this is how I'll tell you. Like, that feels very primal to me.
Now, do you think that music would exist without love? Would we have music if there wasn't love behind it?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't think so, because how could people possibly write music if they didn't know about love?
Do you think that's what the inspiration?
I think it makes people happier, so therefore you think about happy music.
Shit. Well, the Beatles wouldn't exist without without the Beatles, music probably wouldn't exist. So indirectly, I guess.
Yes.
That transitive property. Yeah, the transitive property.
Good. I like all of that.
Definitely wouldn't. You feel me? There'd be no Tupacs or no, Biggie Smalls or no special type of artists if they didn't have love. Because, them type of artists had love and it showed what they were.
Love is happiness. When you have somebody you love, things you love, the people around you love, you're always happy.
Yeah.
Without love, you cannot be happy.
No, what about without music?
Music is life. You know that? No music, no life.
Ain't nothing but a love song, And I guess it's just how you view it. It's, it should be in everything. Because that's who human beings are. That's who we are as creatures.
I mean, what keeps you going? I-T-H, I think. U-S-A said I-it. I-T, it is A-L, all, A, about, L, it is all about, W-H-A, what, U-L-O, it's all about what you love.
Shove me out to sea, the sea, the quiet of December, to the deeper turn. From the wreck, God bless this mess, what I can. Ghost I burn. Why do I always feel like I'm waiting to begin? Why do I always feel like I'm waiting to begin? Lay me down and sound unbound. The bird is fame returning. You go silent. Shall I sleep to keep this peace? The winter from her leaving to the bow I
Luck, number. Now I believe for love.